It's time for another Dice Tower review with Z Garcia.
Hey everybody, today I'm taking a look at Encounters Shadowrun here, which is a dice game that utilizes that Encounters system, which has been seen before, and it's sort of a flip cards and roll dice, push your luck mechanism, okay? Now this game obviously wraps that system up in the Shadowrun theme, adds some rules to it, and gives you a sort of a different experience. Let me show you a quick overview of how everything operates here, and we'll come back and I'll tell you what I thought of it, alright? So here's everything the game comes with. It comes with a deck of encounters, a deck of Shadowrunners, these Megacorp cards, some Nuyen, which is the money in the game and also your objectives, the dice, and then these district standees over here. So, the objective of the game, as I said, is money. You are trying to be the first one to 30. As soon as you get to 30 games over, you win. You are going to, at the beginning of the game, take a Megacorp, and you are going to get a Shadowrunner. You're going to get one that costs only 2. You'll start with that in front of you. Everybody else gets the same thing. And then you are ready to begin, pretty much. You also make sure that one of these district cards is the active one by being out in front. The game tells you to stand them up like this, but this invariably tends to happen where they all flop over. So I'm just going to lay them down. And then you are ready to start. The objective is here to run through encounters to make money. That's pretty much the basics of the game. The way that works is you are going to be using the dice to complete encounters and advance and get cash. So, here's how this works. Let's say it's my turn, I'm going to flip over an encounter, and the encounter has a few pieces of information. It tells me typically, obviously, a name, and then it has a threshold up here, the exact amount I need, and sometimes there's a special ability and icons at the bottom. So in this case, for example, it gives me a bonus 3 Nuyen if I complete it. That symbol lets me know I cannot use Netrunners to affect it. And then, obviously, the threshold is different. There's keywords, lots going on. So let's say I flip that one over first. I get all the dice, I roll them, and I'm trying to get 8 on there. This 6 and that 2 will do so. And now I can either stop, cash in what I've done, which in this case would be 1 Nuyen. Every card is 1. Or I can flip another one and keep going. And so I would roll the ones that are remaining and see if I can get to 10. So 10 will do it. Now I have a single die left. I can continue or I can stop. If I do stop now, I would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one has a built-in 3 Nuyen bonus. So if I did stop, I'd get my 5. I'd keep that. I would give all the dice to the next player and wipe these away. Or I could keep going. If I do that, this one requires a 9. I roll. I fail. Obviously cannot get a 9 on a single die. And now I could either... This one's gone. I could burn the run, which means I have to give up a runner and wipe this away so my next opponent can't keep going after me from this point, or I just let it go. Now, next player can start right here after this with all these dice locked and just this one available, or they can chuck this away themselves and just start fresh, like so, alright? This, by the way, is a very simple overview of the game. Obviously, lots of things would affect everything I've just shown you, but that's the heart of the game. On top of that, you'd have runners that you could discard to activate, and again, if you pay, you can keep runners. That's another little rule. And you have Megacorps, which typically the opponents would use on you to mess with your run while you're running, though sometimes they are beneficial to yourself. They don't work like that. There's, of course, also the district here. Like this one, Dante's Inferno says all Shadowrunners cost +1 to hire. And so these give you some sort of rules effect that is changing the gameplay. These are going to be cycled, by the way, depending on some cards from the encounters that come up here. We'll have a little symbol that'll let you know you need to change the district to something else. I'm seeing one right there. So that little symbol right there lets you know at the end of this encounter phase, you'll switch the front one to the back, and whatever's next in front will be active. There's quite a bit of text on these, so I'm not going to go into them, but as you can see, there's lots of description there as to what the effect is. Whoa, they seem to be getting longer. All right, so besides all that, of course, as Dante's Inferno there hints at, you can hire more Shadowrunners, and every time you flip over a new encounter card, you can then hire a Shadowrunner. You would flip one over from the Shadowrunner deck here, and you would pay that, and you could then have a new Shadowrunner that is basically a one-time boost. You are giving up for this the Nuyen you've earned, however, and these are your victory points. You got to be careful. You definitely want a few of these, but you don't want to, every single chance you get, buy one because, well, then you'll never win. That's pretty much the overview of the game. I'm not going to go into too much more detail than that. I think that gives you an idea of how the game operates. I'll just go over to final thoughts now, and I'll see you back up top. I like the encounter system. I think it's a good idea. I enjoy the pushing your luck thing that it brings to the game. I first saw it in Encounters Bravest Warriors, and I liked it in that game. The game did add a couple of things on top of that system, which I thought detracted from the whole experience, which was my main issue with that one. But I thought the look of the game was good. The packaging was a little interesting, easily portable. I liked pretty much all of it. Now this game uses obviously a different theme, and while I like this theme much better than Bravest Warriors, I like Shadowrun, I also think that the game that the designers wanted to put together here doesn't quite fit the Encounters system. The Encounters system is very quick. It moves along at a nice clip. It gives you this push-pull between spending your money and keeping it, which is the main crux of, I think, the main crux of the Encounters system, but it's not bogged down by rules. And this game, unfortunately, I feel is bogged down by reading and by the districts and by megacorps and all of these things. Now, I understand why those things are there. And I typically, give thumbs up for variety, but I just don't think this underlying frame can support that system, So I actually liked Bravest Warriors Encounters more than this one, even though I expected to like this more. Because of all those things. There's just too many little rules to keep track of when I just want to flip an encounter card and chuck some dice and see, I want stand-up dice roll moments in this game. And unfortunately, I did not get those because I'm checking so many things and worrying about so many effects, I even made a list here for myself, and this is not even comprehensive, of everything I have to do on my turn. And again, this is like it's like flip face up, flip face down, runners face up. Then you may flip a runner face down to ignore the district, or you may kill a runner to change districts. After that, you actually flip an encounter, or you stop the run. You may purchase a runner. You can have up to 3 runners. You may burn the run if you bust to avoid data steal, which is when somebody else takes over for you. You do that by killing the runner. During the run, megacorps may be triggered, 1 per player's turn, unless the active player uses their own, and then everybody else can still do 1. It's just too much of that stuff. And so I kind of wish that the megacorps and the district's idea would have been wiped away. And yes, I know at that point then the interaction is barely there, but find a different way to do that. I did not like this concept of the district revolving district thing, and then each one's like a whole block of text. Not something I enjoyed in this one. So unfortunately, this one was just so for me. I'm still hoping for a game that uses the Encounters underlying system surrounded in a package that makes sense for that dice chucking feel, and this one, unfortunately, is not really it for me. Now, if you're a big fan of Shadowrun, there's nothing necessarily wrong with this game, and I think if you don't mind a lot of reading and the little corner cases and stuff combined with your good old dice chucking, then you might like this one. I just tend to prefer games that what you do in the game, like the mechanisms in the game, match the feel and how much involvement you need to present, And when I'm just flipping a card and chucking some dice and hoping I can add up to the right total, then I don't want to be doing all this other reading and, wait, hold on, you going to trigger that? Oh, wait, the district said this, so back up, pay one more for that. That's what I'm talking about, So, for me, this is a pass. But again, if you're a big Shadowrun fan, or if you really adored the encounter system, then I would recommend you check this one out. That has been Encounters Shadowrun.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.